Learn how to make these delicious strawberry muffins. The first thing you want to do is preheat that oven to 400 or 200 degrees Celsius. Now you want some really nice ripe berries and you want to start preparing them. Pull off the stems, check for any blemishes or problems, and then we're going to slice them. If you need to, you'll want to wash them in some cold running water, and you can add a little bit of vinegar and let them soak for a while, but usually just running them under cool water is enough to clean them. Once they are clean, we are going to hull them and then we're going to slice them into quarters. You want to be really careful when you're hulling a berry and going in a circular motion on the top of the berry until you get that little piece out. You want to do that because that part is really bitter, and then we just slice this into quarters. Next, you want a muffin tin, and for easy cleanup, just put in a liner. If it's not a nonstick pan, you're going to need to grease and flour the inside or use some cooking spray. In a large bowl, we're going to combine 2 cups of flour, 300 grams. I'm using all-purpose flour or plain flour. You don't need to use any special type of flour here. You can use the cheapest you can find. Then you want to add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 6 grams, and a half a teaspoon of salt, 2.5 grams. If you're using self-rising flour, you can skip the baking powder and salt. Next, you want to add in some sugar. I'm going to add in 3/4 of a cup of sugar or 150 grams. You can up it to another 1/4 cup of sugar or 50 grams if you like them really sweet, but it's not necessary because strawberries themselves are very sweet. Next, you want to combine 2 large eggs, 100 grams, in a separate bowl and mix them until they're just briefly scrambled like this. Then add in some oil. You can use canola, vegetable, whatever type you like, 1/3 of a cup or 80 milliliters. And then you're going to add in some vanilla for some flavor, 1 teaspoon of vanilla or 5 milliliters. Then you're going to add in 3/4 of a cup of milk, 180 milliliters. You can add any type of milk you like. You can use buttermilk, whole milk, fat-free milk, whatever you have on hand. Even soy milk works really well with this recipe. Mix it until it's well combined, and then you're going to set it aside. You only want to mix it briefly. You don't want to add a lot of air into it. You want it to look like this. Then you're going to get your flour mixture from earlier, and you're going to add your wet ingredients in, and then just give it a stir until it's well combined. It's going to take about 30 seconds to combine it together. Don't over mix this. You want to get it until just no more flour is showing. Once it looks like this, you're going to fold in those strawberries from earlier. You need 1 cup or 160 grams. Now, if you don't have fresh strawberries, this recipe works really well with frozen. All you have to do is just take the strawberries out when you're preheating the oven so that they get a little less frozen and they will break apart from each other if they've gotten stuck, and then just fold them in as normal. You may have to add another 5 to 7 minutes to the baking time, but I found that they taste really good with this recipe. So don't let frozen strawberries stop you. Now we are going to divide this equally among each tin. If you have a cookie scoop, this works really well here. If not, just use a spoon. It's about 2 to 3 tablespoons of batter in each tin. If you get any batter on the edges of the tin, take the time to go ahead and wipe it off. If you don't wipe it off, it will end up burning in the oven and smell unpleasant. You want to bake these 16 to 20 minutes until they are golden brown and a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out clean. If you have fresh fruit, sometimes you think these aren't done, so check them in a different area to make sure that you're not over baking your muffins. Leave them in the pan for 5 to 10 minutes before removing them. The strawberries will be really hot and you could burn yourself. When you open these up while they're still warm, those strawberries will be very soft and moist, and they taste a lot like strawberry pancakes. So if you're a fan of strawberry pancakes, you're going to love these muffins. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Here are your ingredients if you want to follow along. Thank you for visiting us at jacksonsjob.com, and as always, happy baking.